Welcome back to another one. So, beers and bikes day today. So today we are going to start getting this bike together. We're going to get balls deep in this, get the headset on, get the forks on, get the stem on, handlebars, and do a few other bits. So, cheers, let's crack on. Ooh! It's not a pint of whiskey, by the way. We don't do drunk bike mechanics here. No. Let's go. So, right. I'm flipping dying. Alright, let's get some copper slip. As always, make sure you got some copper slip in your frame. I don't know why I said it like that, but that's what you want to do. And what we've got our Ritchie Logic headset going in this as well. So let's get the cups out of here. That's the bottom cup. And turn it upside down. And that is the top cup. Again, we're probably going to set this up so it's like Ritchie Logic again, as we did on the Specialized one. So let's press in the first cup. I'm using a different headset press today. This is the more generic standard home mechanic headset press that is generally more affordable. I actually prefer this one than the expensive Park Tool one because this one is easier to use. So we slide them off, and what we'll do is, as I did before, one cup at a time, just to stop the cups warping. So we will press in this one first. Obviously I've got copper slip on the frame, so just be careful with the paintwork. And then what we'll do is we'll wind that bottom cup, the actual spine of the actual headset press in, just so I'm not having to tighten that top one too much. There we go. Right. We will then put all the other bits on. There's a bar there as well. Always make sure you've got a good grip of the tools because, as I said, this has just been freshly spray painted, so you don't want to cause any damage whatsoever. So there's no logos on the top cup, so we will go ahead and start pressing this in. Make sure you generally line it up to begin with. Make sure it's equal all around there, because then you've got the best press then of going straight down rather than at an angle. So let's press this in. There we are, that's the top one. Do the helicopter till it gets to there, and then do it by hand, be careful. There we are, slide those off. Let's get the bottom cup. So the bottom cup does say Ritchie and Logic, and the top part of the headset also says Ritchie and Logic as well. So we're going to go for the top when you look front on, Ritchie Logic. So we want the bottom cup at the front to show the Logic logo. So we'll get this next one in. So before we start pressing, just make sure, looking down, you've got that exactly where you line up, because you don't want to be pointing it in and knocking it back out. So make sure that cup's all lined up, and we'll go ahead and press this one in. So we'll put this away. We don't need the headset again today to press. So So we'll go boom, 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 boom. That can go away. So now we'll start putting the forks, and if I just move that. So we've got the matching forks as well. So we've got the crown racer already pressed on there. We are going to put a bit of copper slip down that, just to stop any rusting. It just gives it that barrier away from the elements. So just a really thin coat down that shaft. You don't really want it on the actual race because we're going to put a bit of grease there. So get that off. Let's get some grease out. Boom. And then in here you've got your little seal. Make sure you get that in the right place as well. Dollop of grease. Let's get some good grease in and around that as well. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. And then, bottom bearings, want to just smear loads of grease into that cage. So you're filling all that inner cage up as well. So we'll get that on. Boom. Sat down. And then a bit of grease in and around that top cup. Bit of grease in that bottom cup. Don't worry about any grease on the outside, give that a good clean off afterwards. And then you want to get your top bearing. Always pay attention to which way round you're getting these, so you're not kind of like putting it on upside down and you're just grinding metal away. So we'll rub loads of grease into that. See, I don't know why I'm always singing when obviously I'm not alone because I'm talking to you, but there's physically no one else in the room, well, in the bike shed today. It's just me today. This is why I'm at a different angle because I ain't got cameraman or camera woman, so this is like a one-man solo today. Everyone's at school and so on, so, well, they finished school now. It's actually close to being evening, so I don't want you to think I'm like day drinking on the job. That's not what I do. Just a light beer, that's all. So, got some good grease going in. Bit of copper slip just around that threads, not too much, just a tiny smidge. And I'm going to put just a little smidge of grease in and around that bearing side on the inside of that. There we are. What we can do is put your forks in and then start screwing that down. And again, you shouldn't have to force this. This should just nicely just go down. So, hands are a bit slippy. So let's do the last few turns with a rag. There you go. That's feeling nice. Line up the logos. That on. So after this you got your little ring and then your top lock nut as well. So we'll line that bad boy up. And your top lock nut will go on as well. Now to tighten these you want to use the thin ones, and this is the HCW-9, as you can see just there. and you do get 40mm, 36mm, then you get the other one as well, which is 32 and so on. This one's going to be 36, so you're just basically nipping these up, and what I'll do is I'll just casually nip that up a little bit for now, just so I've got that set. And then what I'll do is, when I've got the bike all done, wheels on, when I do my final check, I'll make sure when the brakes are set, I can feel to make sure there's no play in that actually under load, and then make that final nip off and adjustment there. But generally speaking, you need one of these to kind of hold the bottom, and then you want either a big adjustable or a second one of these just to nip off that top against each other, just so you've got a nice spinning headset there. So that's good, that can be adjusted later, so that's not a problem. And going on as well, we've got the matching stem. So I don't know if you can see on the paintwork, but it's got like a pearlescent finish to it. Absolutely amazing. So we'll get the stem on. So the copper slip, just that bolt and that shaft again. There, just to stop it from rusting. And we'll drop that down there. And then these old quill stems use like a cheese wedge. So the more you tighten that bolt, the more that will pull in that. So to make it a bit easier, what I'll do, put a bit of copper slip just on the edges of the actual stem, just there. And what I'll do is put just a bit of copper slip just on that outer brace of that actual grip, just there. So basically those cheese wedges will slide nicely against each other, just so when you torque it up you don't have to crank it really tight. And then we can pretty much get the stem on, and then that's really quick and easy, to be fair. All it is just a few tools. You need a few tools, and then it's just bish bash bosh straight on. So any copper slip on there, just wipe off with my hands as well. You don't want to kind of be greasing that shaft or rope because you don't want it to spin on you. So we'll line that up. Again, I'll realign everything up whenever all the front ends on. But for now, we will just roughly set that, and we'll roughly just nip that up just for now with a 6mm Allen key just down that centre shaft, just hand tight. Like I say, once it's all together and it's all done, we'll do those final bolt checks and tighten up and adjustment. That's looking nice. Everything will wipe off. Here we are. Then let's get the handlebars. So handlebars, keeping it retro. So we have got the Marin light flat handlebars. So don't want to put nothing on there whatsoever. Make sure you loosened off the actual bolt. So that should be a 5mm on this quill stem. So loosen that off. You don't want to be having to shove that through, you know what I mean? So we'll get them, slide that in, there we are. And these old handlebars as well, majority of the actual width of that is usually around 25.4. Get that lined up. As you can see where the splines are on that handlebar. And what we're going to do, again, we are just going to nip that up ever so slightly, because all of that you want to be doing the final tune when everything's back together. So line that up, we'll just nip that up ever so slightly so it's not all flapping about, and then wipe off all your grubby paw prints. And then on top of that stem, I will put the bung back in just so I don't lose it. Just so that's in there. And then that is that all on. Couple of paw prints on there, not much. So, and there as well, wipe off all that grease. There you go, handlebars. There you go. It's quite simple. Like I say, when it's all on, get the front wheels in, well, back wheel, front wheel, do those final adjustments when it's all back together, tighten it all up, and you're good to go, really. So I think next, we'll fit the bottom bracket, and we've got to chase the threads on the mech hanger as well. So I've got the M10 tap for that, so we'll do that. And we'll go from there. But for the first episode of this Marin build, that's really nice. So what I'll do now is I'll give you a quick tour around the headset. Why not? People might want to see it close up. Let's go. So as you can see, everything's looking nice, new and shiny. See if that focuses on there. And as I come round to the front, you'll be able to see it does say Ritchie Logic. Obviously the forks are all freshly painted as well. There we are. And we've got the nice headset in, all clamped up, looking fresh, looking new, looking nice. So join me back on the next episode, which I'll be filming probably in about an hour. I'm going to drink this beer, I'm going to go and drop the kids off at the pool, and then we will get more balls deep into this bike and get some more stuff done. Catch you in a bit.